We have some interesting stuff to talk about today for you, actually. And let people know that you're going to be gone for the whole month. No, not forever. You're going to be gone for the whole month of July. Mm-hmm. What's that all about? What's happening, Matt?
My boss said, get out of here. Stop showing up. No. You implemented, I guess, this idea of a Sabbath.
Yeah.
And sabbatical.
Sabbatical.
Rather.
Yeah.
And so you created Sabbath.
I didn't create Sabbath. God created it. But we have had this thing at the church where every 7 years, each staff person gets 1 month off for a sabbatical. And you're in your 7th year.
Yeah.
Right now. Because
it's a little convoluted because I was here before, but now again.
Yeah.
But so
2017, 18, 19, 20, 21,
it's probably
22.
It's close enough.
Yeah, that is. Well, we implemented the policy after you were gone. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But that's kind of exciting. I wanted to share because people are like, what's sabbatical? I mean, people have heard sabbatical, but I think, where does that come from?
Right.
So it's from the Bible. So Leviticus chapter 25. This is God speaking to Moses. And, okay, hold on a second. You're going to have to make sure that thing's still recording.
I can do that.
You just check it real quick. I don't understand why I'm still getting phone calls if it's...
You're still recording, so we're safe.
So strange. Okay. Anyway, this is God speaking to Moses, telling him to inform the Israelites. So he says, you must observe a Sabbath to the Lord. So there's always been this idea that, the Saturday is for the Jews, just a day off, that you don't work. But it says this, for 6 years sow your fields, and for 6 years prune your vineyards and gather their crops. But in the 7th year, the land is to have a year of Sabbath rest, a Sabbath to the Lord. Do not sow your fields or prune your vineyards. Do not reap what grows of itself or harvest the grapes. The land is to have a year of rest. So there's this principle that we picked up, which is, okay, every 7 years, we should at least give, we can't give a whole year off.
Yeah.
But a month where, as a staff person at the church, you get a chance to rest.
Right.
And rest might mean something different to different people. When I did my Sabbath, I finished my book, for example.
Right.
So that was restful for me, so to speak. But you have a Sabbath coming up, and we're excited about it. We're glad to give you this opportunity to rest. I have 2 questions. One is, what are you going to do on your Sabbath, or do you know how you're going to do it? And then number 2, do you feel like it's going to be a way for you to rest and sort of recollect yourself for ministry ahead for the next 7 years?
Well, I think a part of it is just having a little bit of a break from your normal routine of have everything done and accomplished and deadlines and all that kind of stuff. We haven't planned anything. The beauty was that July was a month already that most people are not here. Like July feels like it's the emptiest out of all the months for some reason.
Yeah.
At least for family ministry, it ended up that way. Like,
you have vacations.
Right. So July
traveling.
just seems to be the travel time. Not everyone, but it just felt like we would plan things in July for years, and nope.
Nobody's here.
So so the idea was let's not plan anything in July, and for us, every July already is kind of a month that we look ahead to the next year. It's kind of already start.
So your July already was pulled back a little bit, but you were planning for the future,
right?
Of what you're going to do. So this year, though, it's all about...
This year, now it's removing myself completely from the day-to-day routine, not even showing up on Sunday morning. The idea is that kind of concept. And so, we do have our Sabbath this year, as opposed to 7 years from now, may look a little bit different because of our house renovation. So we have a lot to do. Some people know that we're in the middle of a renovation. It's actually been a year now that we started the process.
And it's not a small renovation either.
No,
it's like down. You took your house basically down to the studs.
There were some major problems in our house that lended itself to critters and mold and mildew. There was openings in the side of the house and those kind of things, and some rot and those kind of things that had to be settled and solved. And part of it was kind of, I quite honestly, my wife's cancer journey had kind of pushed that forward with just the dangers of toxins and things and environment that we saw as a result of some of the cancer. We were like, we need to clean this up. We need to make sure we're, basically I wanted to button up the house, make sure it's all safe, new air. So new roof, new air, there's new siding or about to be new siding. We removed everything, the old, new kitchen, new bathrooms.
Yeah. It's almost a new flooring. It's almost a new house.
Yeah, and then we removed some walls and things, and there's now you enter and you're like, oh, that wasn't there before, kind of thing. So
now here's the question that I think people who might be listening are going to ask. Well, that doesn't sound very restful,
right?
So tell me how that works
the idea
for you as a sabbatical.
For us, number one, we needed to get our house in shape just for my wife's health.
Yeah.
So that was number one. That was always the first priority. Second priority is we kind of, I think the way the economy and the way we got the money, there was, we refinanced at the right time to be able to do that. It's a smaller house. I don't want a big house to take care of. We just want this little unit to be. So the idea, the third part was kind of, we want to make our own little oasis.
Yeah.
Like let's make it the way we want it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you don't get everything because we don't have unlimited funds.
Yeah.
All the bells and whistles, but we are attempting to make it a little bit of an oasis. So the longer it's not an oasis, sometimes when in the hecticness of life and doing work and being out there, you come home and you're like, I just want to rest.
Yeah.
There's so much to do at the house that we've got to get it done in order for us to be able to come home and rest.
Right.
So right now we're not resting without a kitchen cabinets or there's no flooring in some of the rooms, and we're in the bedroom next to our 23-year-old son who's doing fire academy, with a curtain kind of thing.
Right.
So we're trying to settle all that and or solve all that and get it all fixed and finished so that we can rest. So
what I would hope too is that doing, when you're working in ministry, as you've done for many years, it's a certain kind of work. I think there's an emotional weight that comes from it. And, you're worried about these families or these kids. You're sort of juggling people's schedules and things. But working on your house is a little bit different.
It's more physical than emotionally. And, people business is sometimes, there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes heaviness to that, and especially hearing, we know we live in a messy and broken world, and then when you experience and you're rubbing elbows with families who are walking amidst the messiness, you feel their pain, and you want to help them, and you're praying and or ministering and those kind of things, all that.
It's nice to sort of pick up a hammer and just hammer a nail into the wood, and you realize, okay, there's no emotional investment in this. For a lot of people, they'll take their Sabbath day and they'll go gardening. There's work involved, but it's resting your head. So what I'm hoping is
in the future, yes, I hope to have it to where it's like I would love to be able to go and do a week in the woods by myself, and then a week, whatever, those kind of things. We did, contemplate that.
Yeah.
At one point was like, oh, we'll do this, and then Steph and I can get away and start and kind of brainstorm the future of building strong families and those kind of things. But I think it's wisest for us at this point to finish this. Yeah. And the hammering and the shaping of our house, quite honestly, speaks to my right brain creativity too. Yeah. Like there's a part of it that's tough because there's some things I don't know, or I don't have the right, we all have done, you got to have the right tools to do some of this stuff. So some of that is finding that, but there's a creative side that I'm like, I get to create how this looks and feels. That's exciting for me.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, we've had this conversation too when we first started talking about the sabbatical. It's like if I didn't feel like that was going to be restful in a certain way, right? I mean, that's what you have to understand. It's not like sit in a hammock rest. It's take your mind off of the burden of what you're doing rest. Then I would probably try to find a better way for you to take sabbatical. But I think for you, being able to just focus on that job specifically, not worry about phone calls at the church, not worry about emails, not worry about the programming, not worry about Sunday, it can fulfill that so that in the future, your rest of your Sabbaths on your Mondays off or whatever days actually can be, sort of restful. Here's my question.
The only text I want to receive is, hey, what can we bring you for lunch today?
Right. Well, actually, that leads into my next question. How can the church people, because I'm sure there's people that, we want to bless Matt and Stephanie. We love them. They've done so much for us. Is there something that our church people can do to help facilitate that sabbatical for you? I mean, is it dropping some lunch off? Do you need some people to swing some hammers? Do you, what's the most helpful thing?
Yeah, there are some gentlemen that I've already talked to. You know who you are. That the names are listed on the screen right now. No. That I've kind of been prompting to like, hey, would you be willing kind of thing. And there's some others that I want to be able to ask, because there's some tasks of breaking through concrete to move
some big,
an entire
big
bathroom.
things,
yeah, like breaking through to put new sewage in. And there's some
fun
things. Yeah, it's going to be fun. That aren't necessarily my expertise.
Yeah.
That I'm going to need, even putting together the kitchen. We're gonna get it, but we'll need help on putting it all together and all the things and all the bells and whistles of lights and all that kind of stuff. So not everyone could do that.
Right.
Some, I wouldn't say, oh, just come on over and take a hammer. No, that's not what I'm looking for. But those who, and again, some of those I've already prompted, but some people are like, hey, I built cabinets, or I built, I've broken through concrete, we've replumbed, we've
done
obviously
within
code that I can do safely,
sure,
or that kind of thing. Obviously, it has to all be passed and that kind of thing. Yeah. But there's certain things that can be done by the homeowner. So there's a lot of things that we'll be doing in that instance, and we do have a general contract that is finishing up some certain parts of that that then gets inspected and all.
What about meals? Is that something that would be helpful?
So I jokingly said that, but I mean there could be.
Sounds like a great idea.
It could be a time
because you'll be working. I mean, I know when you're working on a project, it's hard, and you don't even really have a kitchen at this point, right? You sort of have a. We did makeshift kitchen.
We have tables, like folding tables, as as our counters. So there's things stacked on top. There's basically, we live out of boxes still. We've been living out of boxes for almost a year now.
Sort of like a refugee, sort of escaping your homeland sort of a scenario.
Yeah. So there's boxes in the living room. There's boxes in the kitchen. There's boxes. It's certain things, you realize what you don't need.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's true.
Because we had a lot of our stuff in a pod, and it was locked up. Now I could go out there and unlock it, but there are certain things that are like, that's at the back.
I don't need that.
I'm not getting it. There's no way. There was a panic for our son's graduation from college because his shoes were, we didn't, and I don't know, I probably should have just said, we're buying new shoes.
Right.
But I went on, that probably took a month sabbatical just to go.
To get to the back of the pod?
Weave through and climb through and get the shoes. But he graduated, so everything's fine.
Yeah.
But there could be moments where
different things like that.
Meals and those kind of things may be helpful and useful.
Now on Sundays, I've always suggested.
Oh, but I think that what you asked about the kitchen, I forgot where I was going.
Yeah.
We do have appliances.
Yes.
But no cabinets.
And no sink.
No, if you went to family camp, we have a white outdoor sink It's a laundry tub. It's a laundry tub. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes.
And we have that outside on our porch. And that I do the dishes. It was literally outside. And so I wash the dishes, and my neighbors are looking at me and they wave at me, and the kids at the school bus stop in the morning, they're walking by and I'm washing dishes, in my PJs.
There goes the property values for everybody around. No, but so back to my point. You don't have a sink.
No. We don't have a sink.
So
we have a bathroom sink.
I see people being able to say, you know what, we want to bless Matt and Stephanie. Maybe we'll maybe we'll do some meals, some gift cards, some things so that you can rest. But of course, and I'll make sure people understand this. Drop off or send, because you're trying to sort of have a break from the ministry of being the family pastor.
Right. But I mean, it's also, we're doing life together. So
well,
yeah, I mean, that's a part of it.
Now, the one thing I always say, and I don't know what the plans are, so I don't know what the answer to this question is, but I always suggest during the sabbatical, don't come to this church on Sunday, go be ministered to somewhere else, because even if you come on Sunday and you don't have any responsibilities, chances are, somebody might ask you something or hit you with something that's a bit heavy. Do you have any plans? Maybe go visit some churches, check some different things out, just be ministered to?
We haven't thought through any of that as far as like what, is there a church that we'd want to
or maybe go to the beach on a Sunday and
check out,
just spy on or get some ideas.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. Yeah, I mean there could be, and there may be a moment during that time. Obviously, it's a full month that we're like, okay, we got to get away for a couple of days just to be out of the house. We finished this task and we're going on to that task. And quite honestly, I will say this: a month will not finish the house. It's beyond that, but there's a bulk of it that I need to accomplish. There's some flooring and some other things that need to be done. So we want to try and get that. We want our bedroom to be moved into its rightful place.
You could probably get over the hump of the major stuff, and then you're going to still.
So there's still going to be a good 6 months of trickle through. And quite honestly, no one's ever finished with their house on renovations to some degree.
That's true. Strangely,
it's like you're always doing something, and it's always like, oh, that corner piece, I never did put that cap in, or the, the one wall you never painted.
The ceiling in my shower has been undone for 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, I should get around to that.
Yeah.
Maybe I need a sabbatical just to finish that. Well, I have my sabbatical next year again. So it'll be my third sabbatical. So
eventually, after 12 years, it's 7 years. What's the math on that?
19?
No.
I don't understand.
No, 12 times 7.
Oh, 12 times 7.
Means you get the entire year off.
Yeah, I think if you can last that long, then you should. Is it 63? I think that's 63. I'm not great at math. That's why I became a pastor. So after 63 years, I'll be 96 years old.
You get the whole year off.
I probably will get the rest of my life off at that point in time. We've turned a weird corner. I do want to say before we end, though, like, we do appreciate what you do here at the church. You work hard. I think people know that, but they need to hear it sometimes. Like, you work hard. Most of the time, I'm having to talk you out of work or say you should take some time off or stay back or take a comp day. But I hope that you'll be able to use this sabbatical, really get some things done, but hopefully in the most restful way possible.
Yeah.
So that, it's not just another hassle thrown on, and that when you get back in August, you'll feel like you're ready for the next, all the different challenges that come with life.
Right.
Come with ministry.
I think getting, to say getting our house in order.
Quite literally.
Yeah. We that will help us in ministry, because then we can just come home and not, think, I still got that and that and that and that, and there's a little bit of that right now.
You could host some things at your house too. I know you mentioned some of that.
Right,
too.
yeah. No, we're excited about actually some of the internal but also outside stuff that we want to do that would be fun to have, families over and gatherings, and whether it be youth or college, something.
But you need a sink for that.
Yes.
You can't wash the dishes in the bathroom or outside.
Well, we did that at one point before the tub came. It was in the shower, like,
You could take a shower and do the dishes at the same time.
I can, Dawn works great in your hair.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I don't have any hair anyway. Okay, well, thanks for spending some time with us. I'll look at the camera now. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully, if you're watching this video, there are ways that you can bless Matt and Stephanie during the sabbatical. There should be a link. I'm going to put a link in the show notes for opportunities on how to learn more about it. And thanks. We'll talk to you again soon. One day I'm going to figure out how to end a podcast.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
What do I do with my hands? Okay, that's good. All right, stop recording.